Back again with Rodney's Northwest Riding Reviews. I am back out on the road again today, headed out to Central Oregon to do some riding. It's been raining quite a bit in our area, and everything close to home is really muddy. And so headed out to a place called Three Trails, and I've been out there quite a few times, but this will be the last day of the year that I'll be able to ride out there because it closes for the winter season. So it is a sand base. It's supposed to be dry out there, at least not raining. It doesn't look like there's going to be any snow on the ground yet or at this time, and so it ought to be some great riding. So anyway, that's where I'm headed. Wanted to give a quick update. So a lot of people have been asking about the new 2024 Tacoma, and for anybody who doesn't know, I do work for a Toyota dealership. Currently the allocations have come out. They came out this last go round, and so dealerships get allocations every couple of weeks. So we did see Tacoma's the last round of allocations. However, we didn't get any. So it looked like there was about 15 that have been put in the order banks, and they were headed to the East Coast to begin with. And so the new allocation should come out within the next week, and I'm sure that the rest of the dealerships will probably start seeing Tacoma allocations at that time. Now I want to talk about the Tacomas for just a few minutes. So I've had a couple Tacomas. I had a 19, and then I had a 2021, and then I switched over to the 2022 Tundra, and probably a lot of you have already seen my videos on that. But it looks like I'm probably going to go back to the Tacoma, and I enjoyed my Tacoma, both of them that I had before. The only reason I went to the Tundra is because my son wanted to get a quad, and so I needed an enclosed trailer to go ahead and haul it and keep it secured for some of the areas that we were planning on going. So anyway, long story short, he decided that he didn't want the quad anymore, and so it was just sitting in the garage collecting dust. And so I sold the quad, sold the trailer, and I honestly don't need the Tundra any longer. I love the Tundra, don't get me wrong, but the one thing that is kind of my deciding factor is that I lease my vehicles, and obviously working through the dealership, it behooves us to do so we can stay in the new product. But my payment would have doubled to go to a new Tundra, and obviously that was a pretty easy decision not to do so. So anyway, I've enjoyed my time with the Tundra. I'll continue to make Tundra videos, but like I said, the plan is to go back to the Tacoma. So for people that are waiting for the new Tacoma, one of the concerns that came up early on when the new Tundras came out is, the V6 twin turbo, and their concern was, okay, was the V6 going to be strong enough? Would it have enough power? What was the longevity going to be like, or reliability? And then what about the turbos? So the turbos have been around for quite some time. Toyota has used them overseas for many, many years. They've been using the 4-cylinder turbo in the Lexus NX model, and they have for, 7-8 years now. So it's not new technology. It's been around for quite some time. And I've always said this, Lexus is kind of our proving ground. So they'll try it out on a new Lexus, and then once they found out that it is proven and it will work, then they'll send it on over to the Toyota line and then just mass produce it. So one of the benefits from the V6 twin turbo that we have on the Tundra is that it increases your torque, and that's the biggest thing. Now, horsepower wasn't a huge improvement, but the torque definitely was. And so what I have noticed towing my cargo trailer, and granted it's not very much weight, but it was never had an issue of feeling like it needed more power. And that's one of the things. I drove an older generation Tundra the other day on a test drive, and I was quite impressed after driving the older generation and then getting back in the new Tundra. The ride is much better on the new Tundra. The power is going to be much better. And these are things that you're going to find in the new Tacoma. It will have slightly less horsepower, but it will have another 50 foot-pounds of torque. The big benefit is that when towing, so your torque on the Tacoma didn't hit up until around 3,500 RPMs, and that's where you really got your peak power out of it. The new torque curve is going to be from, the peak is going to be in that 1,700 to 2,400 RPM range. And so that makes a big difference because, that torque comes in a lot lower than what it did on the V6. And I'm sure that you'll see, better fuel economy with that as well. So, don't be concerned about the turbo. Don't be concerned that it's a 4-cylinder. It will have improved performance, like I said, both towing and just, your over everyday performance. One of the things that I noticed with the new Tundra was that the new generation frame, and it's a TNGA, I believe it's the F platform, has a much more rigid frame. And so the one thing that I did notice is that when towing trailers, you may pass a truck out on the highway and it has a tendency to kind of push you around a little bit. Well, this new stiffer platform, you don't have that issue. And that will be a huge improvement for the Tacoma as well. They did a cutout, and you can find this on TFL Truck, but they were talking about the new Tacoma because they're going to get to drive them here really soon. But they showed a cutout just like they did on the Tundra when it first came out, and you can see how much larger the frame is. You can see the axles. The rear end is much stronger and beefier. It will go to a coil spring as opposed to a leaf spring, and you're going to have improved handling. So the one thing that I do notice is that when you come around, let's say you're kind of coming around a corner and you hit a pothole. The older generation, when you hit the pothole, what would happen is it would just kind of upset the back end and you'd feel it kind of kick out on you. Well, what you're going to feel now is you're going to feel that one tire is going to come up off the ground, but that other tire on the opposite side is going to stay planted. And so it will handle much better than what it did. So anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is the hybrid that's going to be on the new Tacoma. So a lot of people, when they say hybrid, they automatically assume that, it's going to be a much better fuel economy. It's going to be able to run on the electric motor on its own. And unfortunately, they didn't set it up that way on the Tundra, and it's not going to be set up that way on the Tacoma. So what they've done is they have an electric motor that's sandwiched in between the transmission and the engine. And so basically what it does, it will give you additional power, and they say it just kind of fills in the gaps. So it will give you a little improved pulling power, but it's not going to be a huge improvement on fuel economy. You may see a couple miles per gallon difference, but there again, it's not going to be, significant like, say a Prius or a RAV4 hybrid or something. So keep that in mind. In everyday driving, I have driven both the hybrid model and I've also driven the regular Tundra. And I didn't see a huge improvement as far as performance. And I know that, when you look at it, yes, it does give you an additional boost of power and does give you a little more torque. But as far as everyday driving, for me, it wasn't quite worth the added expense of getting that system just to pick up a little more power. Because like I said, you're not going to see a huge improvement in fuel economy. The new hybrid system they're going to have it on the TRD Pro, they're going to have it on the Trailhunter. I believe they're going to have a hybrid system as well on the TRD Off-Road and TRD Sport. The hybrid models won't be available until probably spring of next year, and so if you're hoping to get one right away, unfortunately it's not going to come out for a while. So you need to make that decision. Do you go on ahead and try to pick one up now, or do you wait? And I guarantee, because they're going to have a much smaller production on the hybrid models, the dealerships are going to have a substantial markup on those too. So kind of be prepared for that. So anyway, that's kind of my take on the new Tacoma. I am excited about it. There are a lot of huge improvements. The 14-inch screen, the crawl mode is a much better. It's much better than what it was on the prior generation Tacoma. So when I say better, it's a lot quieter. It seems to be more seamless. And I've used it several times on my Tundra, and huge improvement as far as, the way it actually handles. You've got your downhill assist. A couple things people have asked in the past, well, does that work on both low and high range? And so no, the answer is it does not work on high range. The downhill assist will work in high range, but the crawl control itself does not. It's designed only for low range, and then you will have a rear locking axle as well. So anyway, that's really all I have right now on the new Tacoma. Like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm waiting for it to come out. I'll start providing information as soon as I can see it. We have not seen any pricing yet. I was watching a video this morning where a guy said that he got pricing from an insider at Toyota. And according to the pricing he was given, it sounded pretty accurate, but the dealerships have not seen any pricing yet. The allocations that came out for the East Coast, funny thing is that they still had a V6 on there. All the model codes were still the same as what they were from last year. So I don't know. I think that they've actually given the dealerships allocations saying, okay, we're going to build this vehicle for you. And it told you the color and exterior color and interior color, but it did not have any information talking about the new generation. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any questions, any comments, go on ahead and send them my way. If you've never been over to the channel, I do have a bunch of Tundra videos. I've got some Grand Highlander videos, and I love to ride dirt bikes. And so, like I said, that's where I'm headed now. If you want to see some of those, hop on over to the channel and take a look. Thanks again for watching.